So in this video, I'm gonna cover setting up a dynamic DNS using tools you already have. Basically, using PowerShell scripting, and well, to get a better understanding, I could go from the source here, see so that you know the history about this. So I received an email during the week from DYN DNS, which I used to have used for years. Basically, their free program is they're getting rid of the free program, and so I need something else to use. For the better part of this, well, a couple of hours Saturday, I was looking for programs that would replace it when this goes away. But 90% or 95% of the good applications I found require me to pay something, and the others were a bit sketchy. So I was thinking to myself, why do I have to pay somebody else's application when I can just do my own? So I'm just going to go through this quickly here. So there are three major things you're going to need to set up it: dynamic DNS, web hosting, an external DNS server with FTP, and the client computer behind the IP you're trying to map to. So let's get started. So the first aspect is to do with the web hosting. So what I did was I created a PHP script. It's basically just to tell it to get the IP of wherever the browser is coming from. So you just create a little script like that. You can do it in Notepad, you can do it whatever. As long as it has a PHP extension and you have these details in there, it will work. So I have that created and I saved it. Then I brought up my FileZilla and I moved that file over to, let's just override it. And I moved that file over to my web browser. Now, since I'm behind a bunch of firewalls that not really accessible to the site, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on another machine to preview what you're going to see. So that script we just uploaded, this is the path I uploaded it to, and I hit go, and this is all it gives. It gives you my external IP, which is all we need for this part of it. So the next step is we need to jump on our DNS server now. So this is going to be the DNS server that's going to take the update. So what I do first, is I already have a DNS role installed. So I come into DNS role. For this testing, I'm going to go ahead and I'm putting it in here. Or we can just make up another zone. No, let's just go back. Give it a zone name. IPUpdate. .test.com. Yep. Finish. I have my own zone here. So I'm going to go ahead and create an A record, and I'm going to call it test1. Given up here 1.1.1.1. That's a fake IP. Okay. So once that has been set up, I'm going to confirm that my script will actually run on this before we go through all the. So I bring up PowerShell. I do a host. Alright, tells me I'm running PowerShell version 4. Now I need to make sure I have the right module. I think DNS Server is. Yeah. So let's see, get module. DNS. So I'm running. It's on a 2012 server, so the model is already there. It's actually built in. If I had upgraded to another, let's say I was on PowerShell 3 and then upgraded, and I had to install the module. But with PowerShell 4 itself and Windows 2012, the module is actually built in. So I can confirm that I can use my DNS Server commandlets and they'll work just fine. Okay, so that's fine here. So I can go ahead and minimize this one. And the next thing I need to do, I'll minimize this one also. The next thing I need to do is I see I have IIS installed. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna create, and let's see. Cancel for now. So I'm gonna go in here, my sites, and I'm gonna go to create. I'm gonna add a new FTP site. I'm gonna call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but I'm gonna call it IPUpdate. And I'm gonna map it to a folder. Let's see if I have that folder here. I'm gonna put it in temp. I'm gonna make it. You can put the folder wherever you want to put it. IP update. Yeah, so I'm gonna put the file and allow any unassigned IP. I don't want to restrict it. No SSL. Good. Now you can leave it anonymous if you don't want to put any username or password. I don't like living in an open system, so I'm gonna go basic and I'm gonna go specific user group. I have a FTP users group. I'm gonna give them read write, even though all they need is write. They don't need to read from it. Okay, all it's doing, well, let's try that. All it's doing is accepting connection inside, and it's not displaying anything. So I go ahead and hit finish. And my group is created. So the next thing I'm gonna do is download I'm gonna go ahead and download my scripts. This is behind a firewall and a bunch of crap, so I'm gonna go jump up back up here, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna put that in there because I'm going out to the internet. So should I save? I'm gonna go ahead and save. Open folder. That's fine, it doesn't say that, so I'm going to copy you out of that. Yeah, this is what happens when you're working with too many systems. You always forget what has what and what doesn't have what. So let me copy this out of here and paste it in here, because this one doesn't have the extractor. So I'm going to go ahead and extract this files. So what I need is the server version. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the server version. I'm going to pop back into my server. And I'm going to put it exactly here where I set up my FTP for. Perfect. Alright, so once that is done, I'm going to set up a task scheduler. I'm going to call it IP update. Trigger on schedule one time. I'm going to say repeat every 30 minutes indefinitely. Action. I want it to run a PowerShell script. Come on. Yep. Then here, need to get the location and also the name of the script. .ps1. Say OK. I'm going to leave the conditions the way they are. Perfect. And it's saved, and I go ahead and run it, even though there's no file there. And so I run it. It says running. I refresh. It's ready. That means it ran through. Check the history. Make sure there's no errors. It ran through okay. And I check confirm. It's still set to 111 on the, because there was no file for test 1 in there. So that didn't change at all, so that's fine. I just want to make sure the script is up there and it's running. So the next step is now is we going to configure the client to get the IP, push it into that folder, and then this server will update here. So let me jump on this client. I'm going to use this one for the client. The client has the most simple setup because all you need to do for the client, so I'm going to go in here, go here, go to temp. Oh, there is no temp on this one. Okay, so let's say new folder, temp, and I'm gonna go back to those files that I downloaded and extracted. So I'm gonna take out the client IP and the settings, and I'm gonna go ahead and paste it into the client. And I'm gonna open up the setting with Notepad. So yeah, once the setting XML opens up, I confirm the settings here. This is gonna be like what the DNS host name I want it to be. So I'm gonna go back here and reference to what I created here. It's gonna be test1 IPUpdate.test.com. I actually hate well, I don't want to say I hate, I dislike typing, so I don't fat finger something and end up saying, why is it not working? So I always like to copy and paste as much as possible to avoid human error. Could have copied the whole thing here. The next thing I'm going to ask, so it's the IP URL. This is the one I created that gets the IP. Now the FTP, now if you go back here, this is the FTP we created, and if I do like an IP config on this one, give me this IP of the server, which is what we have in here. So basically it's going to FTP to that server. Now this section is not necessary. If you remember when we're creating the FTP site, there was the option for anonymous, and I didn't choose that. I went to basic and I selected a group. Now I have a T account, basically test account, and this is the password for the test account, and that test account is part of the FTP group. I could just demonstrate quickly. Let's go back here. Perfect. So I have a test account. This is account information, and it's a member of the the FTP user, or users, FTP users, which, if you remember, when I was setting this one up, let's see, that's basic. Nope, it's advanced. Where's that thing? Nope, it's not even in advance. Let's see, not binding. Come on. There we go. For my authorization, I said allow FTP users. So those are the only one who allow. So I made a member there. So hence, you get the drift now. So once I have this all put in all my details, I'm just going to go ahead and save it. And close. Now then again, this is all about task manager, a task scheduler. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my task scheduler again on the client. Alright, I don't think I've worked with this one before, so let's go here and they say new folder. going to go ahead and create a new task on the client. Let's say IP update. Daily. No, actually, let's say one time. Blah blah. Next. Oh, it doesn't give me the option. Sorry, it's been a while since I used. It's been a while since I've used this one. I've always used the new version. This one seems a little bit old, but let's go next. It should be. There's an option for unscheduled. That's what I'm looking for. um, hmm. There is no unscheduled. Hmm. So let's go. Let's use daily. So if we wanted to do it every hour, so we'll say what, 12. We want to record every day, so we go next. We want to start a program, so we go next. We want it to start in, it's the same PowerShell, so let's go Windows PowerShell, and we want it to start that program. And let's see, get IP. PS1. Next. Let me see the properties. I think I could change it in there. Perfect. Yep. One with highest privilege. Let's go trigger, edit. There we go. Unscheduled. Unscheduled, and say repeat task depending on how long you want. You want to do it every hour. It's up to you. Indefinitely. Action is in there. Everything else is fine. So you go ahead and hit an OK. So now comes the testing also. You right click. Now before I do that, notice there's only 2 files in here. Oh, now this one is going to create a new folder. It's going to create a new folder right here, IP pickup. I remember. Yes, that's what it's going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit on write and say run. It's running. It's done running. So I check. Creates a folder called IPUpdate. And there's nothing in here. Ah, yes. Now, I'm sorry. Yes, my script, this script, fortunately, the way I set it up, I was actually I was actually contemplating two ways, and I decided to go with one way. I set up in a way that everything must be in this folder. So I need to come back here and copy these files off the temp. I'll cut them off on the temp and put them into the IPUpdate folder. And also I need to come in here and modify my script, this section of it, edit, so that it picks off the IPUpdate folder. Okay. Alright, so I have two files in here, and I'm going to go ahead and enable this, and I'm going to go ahead and run it again. Here we go. So what happened is now we have this file here that has the IP, and once I run the script, when the script runs, it goes ahead and connects to this one here, and it sends the file over to this one here. Now let's refresh here. This is all still ones, but when this one runs here, it's running, it's done. Come back here and I refresh here. Did I change the naming somewhere? Let's check. Okay, I think I finally figured out what's going on. It looks like my script is also hard-coded for on the server scripts, also hard-coded for it to be in here. So gonna need to do a little bit more moving also of the files. Sorry. So we need to come back in here, go to C. I'm gonna move the files from temp here. Well, actually, I don't need to move the files from temp here. What I'm gonna do, the easiest way to fix the problem is I'll go back to my FTP. And where is it clicking? Let me click there properly. There we go. Advance and change this from here, and let's put it directly under the C. Instead of going into temp, I put it directly under C. Okay. So I did hard code all my all the files to come from C IPUpdate folder. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is minimize here, go back here, and make sure this is empty. I'm going to jump on the client again. Then on the client, I'm going to run this one more time. To run? Nope. I'm going to say run. I see running faster. I can't see it. The only way to check is to go back here. Yep, so once that's in there, that's fine. This will update. So I know it's a little bit confusing, but I did hard code all my file, all everything to run from one location. It was simpler for me to put them all in C IPUpdate folder. That way I don't have to do a lot of coding, because I was going to have to repeat a couple of steps, do a verification of folder location and all that during my coding, and it was still a little bit too much. So I just put everything in one. But what we can do, just to verify that this is working right and the way it's supposed to work, we're going to create another A record here, and we're going to call it test 2. I'm going to give it an IP address of 2.2.2.2. We're going to go ahead and add it. And then now we're going to go ahead and jump back to the client. Now once we have all this set up, when we jump back to the client, the only thing we need to do is to come in to the settings, because our host has changed. And change this one to test 2. And then we close and save. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this. It's going to create a test 2 here, and it's going to send it over to the server. So I'm going to jump over to the server and confirm that not this folder, but the folder here has test 2 in there, but it hasn't updated yet. So I'm going to go ahead and force it to run now. It's done. If I refresh here, it's updated. So basically everything, all my thing is going to run on a scheduled task, and everything's going to be synced. So Dynamic DNS, there you go. I'm going to try to publish some more information on my blog at hazelnest.com. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.